Amen.
Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Shekidishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu. La'asok b'divrei Torah. 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 Okay, so Laka launch in 2 weeks, right, Orlando?
Yes.
Okay, so please, we have lots of fun prizes, including a $5,000 piece of artwork and all sorts of stuff. So again, doing stuff that looking at things beyond what in a deeper place that's hidden in plain sight. There are 3 garments that most people associate with Judaism: a yarmulke, a talis, and a tefillin. Right? So we're going to study about each one of them. Yarmulke. If you can each pull a yarmulke, it doesn't matter what the material is. It cannot be made of a non-kosher animal. So it cannot be a pigskin. You can't have a pigskin yarmulke, but you can have a cow yarmulke. You can have a deer skin yarmulke. You know, a satin yarmulke. You can have a silk yarmulke. You can have a knit yarmulke. You can have, and it comes from the idea that we need to keep our heads covered, and so the word is kippah, which is actually what it means to be covering this. But yarmulke is actually the Aramaic from yirah amalka, in awe of the king. It's a reminder to be in awe. So who wants to read the first 2 paragraphs on yarmulke?
Talmudic teaches of Rav Huna, who said he never walked 4 cubits with an uncovered head.
A cubit is, we're not sure, but it's about a yard.
A yard in measurement. With an uncovered head, because of the Shekinah hovered over it. Elsewhere in the Talmud, we learn that an astrologer told the mother of Rav Nahum, Bar Yitzchak, that he would become a thief. So his mother made him wear a head covering his whole life to ensure what the fear of heaven should always be upon him. It worked. And Rav Nahum...
Actually, I should say the right translation would be the awe of heaven. Because Yirat Hashemayim. So go ahead.
And Rav Nahum became a great rabbi instead. Some cite this as the source for calling a kippah a yarmulke. Pronounce that right? Yarmulke.
Yarmulke.
Meaning awe of the king. Yura Melech. A kippah should remind a person at all times who is above them.
Because God is always above us. Okay. Continue, please.
Rabbi Yosef Karo, 1488 to 1575, a great mystic in his own right, incorporated this practice of constantly wearing a kippah as law in the Shulchan Aruch.
Shulchan Aruch is the book of Jewish law that Caro wrote. That law progressed from Torah to Tanakh to Talmud and to commentators and their commentaries on it. And then the Tur wrote the Arba Turim, the 4 columns. He wrote a book of Jewish law, and then Caro wrote the Shulchan Aruch, which is the set table. It's the book of Jewish law. It is pretty much considered the source of how do you practice the laws. Okay, go on.
Stating that no one should walk 4 cubits with his head uncovered. Orachaim 2.6. In previous centuries, wearing a kippah or head covering was only mandatory during prayer. Mishneh Torah, Sefer Ahava, Hilkot Telifa. Even in the centuries following Rabbi Karo, there were those that maintained wearing kippah at all times was not a strict requirement, but a midat hasidut.
It means an extra measure of piety.
Okay.
That's what it literally means.
An extra measure of piety. Okay.
Okay.
Such was the view of the Shida, Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azul, 1724 to 1806, as well as the Vilna Gaon and Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch, 1808 to 1880.
So why do we have a yarmulke or kippah? It is to remind us to always be in awe of heaven. Okay? It is to remind us there's always something above us. I always find it interesting the Pope wears one.
Yeah.
Okay. It's also, the yarmulke is often put back here, right? This is where the three bones join for a baby. So it's a reminder that God's there to always catch us. Because when you teach a child to walk, how do you teach him? You're behind him with your arms in front. So it's a reminder that God is there. There are two distinct styles of wearing a kippah. One is this, which is the House of Hillel style. This is how Rabbi Hillel apparently wore it. The other is this, which is how Rabbi Akiva apparently wore it, and we call B'nai Akiva, children of Akiva. My belief on the reason for that is Akiva was in the face of things. He didn't mind getting it right in your face and saying, I'm a Jew, and this is like, you're not hiding this. This you might not be so sure you see.
Yeah.
This,
No mistake.
you see. I got a question. Does this count?
Yes.
My head's covered, isn't it? So, and one of the pieces is I will usually wear a ball cap because it makes other people more comfortable. It's the only reason. That if you know, people see a priest and he's got his collar on, and they're like very careful what they say or do because he's a priest. When I have a yarmulke on, people act differently than when I have a ball cap on. And if I'm doing something, often I will do something that where if it's a thing where I'm wearing a ball cap, but I want to make people comfortable, I'll be like this. So I have the yarmulke on underneath for me. They can also see the ball cap. Okay. When do you think is a time, even if you wear a yarmulke all the time, there is a specific time when you are commanded, I don't particularly, I mean, it's a rabbinic commandment, so I don't exactly buy into this, but where you are commanded, share your bed spells, where you are commanded to take off your yarmulke. Outside the house. I'm not talking about in the house.
Bathing?
No, outside the house.
Yeah. Bathing?
No, wait, let's see.
No,
What do you think, Ron? You know, don't you?
Yeah, it's just when you go out to a non-kosher place.
Right. So if you go to a non-kosher restaurant, like we were talking about,
Yeah.
right, and you're to take your yarmulke off because someone else walking by who keeps kosher might assume since you have a yarmulke on that it's a kosher restaurant, and therefore you'd be leading them down the wrong path. So
Very
it says a
wise.
lot about Judaism that our tradition is very much about lifnei mashor hadin, before the line of the law. You don't have to take off a yarmulke, but we do it so we don't influence someone else negatively.
That's very logical and got a lot of common sense.
And very considerate.
Yeah.
All right, let us continue.
Hmm.
Amanda, would you be kind enough to give each person a talit?
Yeah.
This is a talis.
Okay.
Thank you so much. The talis has 4 holes at the corners of the garment, and in each corner are this combination of knots, etc. So I'll actually do the first part where it comes from. Speak to the Hebrew people and instruct them to make for themselves, this is God saying, to make for themselves fringes on the corners of their garments. That's what these are. Throughout the ages, let them attach a cord of blue to the fringe of each corner. That shall be your fringe. Look at it and recall all the commandments of God and observe them, so that you do not follow your heart and eyes and your lustful urge. And that's not a bad translation. What it literally says is your eyes, which used to go whoring. Thus you shall be reminded to observe all my commandments and to be holy unto your God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I, your God, am your God. So it's a reminder, and this is the talit. Now, there are 2 types of talisim, of talis. One is called a talit gadol. This is one that you wrap on your outside. One is called a talit katan, which looks like an undershirt, and it just has. Do we have one here? And it just goes under your shirt, and there are 4 tzitzit on it. I have a fabulous picture of my boys in a talit katan apron, and it says, "I'm not crying, I'm davening." Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay. This might have been one of my kids, wasn't it?
No,
No,
no, it's one.
so this goes, there you go. So this goes on and on the person, and there's tzitzit hanging out underneath. And it's to remind you about what's going on. You don't need to show anyone else. So let me ask you a question about this. Someone's wearing a talit katan. You've seen people, they've got their knots on the outside. Why would you wear your knots on the outside as opposed to the inside? I'm going to move this like this because I think, oh, well, you can't do it. Okay. Why would you wear your knots on the outside as opposed to the inside? Go on.
For the same reason you wear a tallis, your kippah like this to show you're a Jew.
So who do you wear your kippah for? You or the guy watching you? Yourself. Who do you wear your tallis for? Yourself. So why put your tzitzit on the outside?
So you don't mind yourself.
I wish that were true.
Okay, I've stepped right into that. Woohoo!
Because usually it's so people can say, look how holy I am.
Oh,
Really?
What do I need to show whether I'm wearing tallis? It's between me and God. Hey there. It's between me and God. What do I need to wear a tallis? Why should anyone see my tzitzit? Who am I showing them to? It's a reminder for me. Right?
yeah.
It's to keep my eyes clean. It's to keep my heart clean. It's to keep me in a special place. Why am I going around? Oh, look, my tzitzit. Look how holy I am. Ever known anyone like that? Right?
Oh boy,
Come
no,
to
I
my
don't.
door once a week.
Look how it's like. Why do you have your tzitzit on the outside? If you want to wear a tallis katan, the idea is it's under your shirt. Why are you showing your knots? My knots are better than your knots?
Huh.
Think about it. It doesn't really make sense, does it?
No.
I guess if you tucked it in, it might touch something that it might not be supposed to touch.
It doesn't have to go that down that low.
Okay.
You know, or if it is, if that long, you can tuck it in your pockets too.
Mhm.
You don't need to be waving them around. Look at me, I wear tzitzit, I'm holier than you are. By the way, it means I can sleep with your wife and your wife at the same time.
So why are we commanded to?
So we're commanded to wear the tzitzit, and this is the talit gadol, the tallis that we wear, at services or wherever, and the talit katan is what's worn underneath. So let's look at these knots. You all have a tallis, right, in front of you, and let's do some more studying. Let's turn the page. That's where the biblical commandment comes from. Okay, who wants to read at the top of the second page?
You decide it makes no sense and there's reason in it, that?
I'm sorry, what?
You decide it makes no sense.
What, the tallis?
No, the showing the cords.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay. I
It doesn't.
didn't know if I missed the answer.
No, it doesn't really make sense other than Orlando, we've known a lot of people who look how holy I am, right?
Oh.
Right.
An only point of view.
Okay. Who wants to read from the next page? Top of the next page. Someone read. Somebody.
Okay. The talit has two parts, the garment itself and the tzitzit.
Okay, so this is the garment, right? These are the tzitzit.
Right.
The garment surrounds our body and the fringes hang off it. They represent the two aspects of God's being. His true self is totally beyond our capacity to grasp, represented by the garment that envelops us. It is only a tiny fraction of his being, little fringes dangling off the corners that we can experience.
So this, also want to point out something else with this is that we'll go into the different colors, but your talit can be any color, can't it? Fabric. Okay. And if you look at a traditional talit, the ends look like this. Okay.
Yeah.
They're unfinished. That you could untie this knot and pull a thread all the way through.
Huh.
Right? Because they're not finished.
Yeah.
And the idea is that our soul is unfinished. And that we can't know the finishing, the ending place of God either. Okay. That's why traditionally it looks like this. Go on, please.
The teaching of the sages is that the word seat has a
Okay, gematria. Okay, so
gematria.
gematria is the numerical value. Remember that in Hebrew, every letter has a numerical meaning, a number. So Aleph is 1, Bet is 2, Gimel is 3, like A, B, C is 1, 2, 3. Okay. And the numerical value of a word gives us insight into it. It's called gematria. And so the word tzitzit, which literally means knots, is a gematria of 600. Tzadik, Yud, Tov. Tzadik is 90, Yud is 10, Tzadik is 90, Yud is 10, Tov is 400. So equals 600. Is that everyone with me? Okay, please continue.
If we add the number of knots, which is 5, plus the number of strings.
Okay, so there's count. Look at it. There's 5 knots on every side, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 knots, and there are how many strings? If you count them, you will see that there are 8. It's actually 4 strings that are folded, but it's 8 strings. Okay, go on.
The number of strings, which is 8, that yields 613, which shows that one who wears seat is as if he's automatically fulfilling all 613 mitzvot, and he is being surrounded / protected by them.
Okay, so that's how powerful these knots. Now, let's look at the knots again. So hold these in front, and you can see there's 5 knots, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, right? 4 of these where they wrap around. There's a whole macrame way of doing this. Don't ask me how, but there is one. And in fact, just as an aside, traditionally, when a man gets married, his bride, they cut the tzitzit on the talis that he has, and his bride makes new tzitzit for him, which is then used as the chuppah.
Huh.
Allison wasn't willing to do it because she says, I don't do macrame. But so if you look at it, there's 4 spaces. There's 5 knots. We've already looked at that's 5 plus the 8 strings, 600, 613. What are the 4 spaces for, do you think? Think. It's the God's name. It's 4 letters of God's name. Yeah. The 4 worlds. So you are surrounded by God and the mitzvot. That's why this is touching into God. This is just the fabric that holds it. This is really, so it's so important. When we gather the tzitzit around us, we're literally gathering Jews from all over the world. We're gathering the energy from all 4 directions. According to Sefer Yetzirah. Okay, please continue.
Okay. One of the most significant elements of the tzitzit is that historical use of tehillah, a blue thread woven into the fringes.
Remember, it said that you're supposed to have a fringe of blue, right? I don't see any blue on this. Do you?
No.
Okay, so why is that? Please continue.
Though not all, I'm not pronouncing it right.
I was looking at the my thing.
Tzitzit.
Tzitzit.
Have it. The blue color derived from the mysterious Calazone sea creature symbolizes the vastness of the sky and sea, directing one's thoughts toward the heavens and divine infinity.
So the fringe of blue was made of this very specific color of blue by a snail. And that's where the fringe of blue came from, okay? And that snail is called the chalazon. So it is it's the idea that it's the sky and it's the sea, and you should be turning yourself toward that. Go ahead, please.
Some say this creature is a mollusk.
A mollusk, yeah, a snail.
That is not found nowadays. However, I'm not.
It's okay. Sha'ar HaKavanot, the gates of the...
We see that even in the times...
The Arizal was Rabbi Isaac Luria, the great mystic. So even in the times of Rabbi Isaac Luria, 500 years ago, there was no Tehillah. Okay, please continue.
There was no Tehillah. We learn from the Zohar, volume 3, 103b, that the
Tehillah, the sea creature,
is a manifestation of
Chesed,
loving kindness, and a bridge between earthly actions and higher divine consciousness. Because this snail-like creature no longer exists or cannot be identified, we are not exactly sure of the exact color of blue, and so many of us do not incorporate a blue thread into the fringes.
Okay. However, there are those who do. They dye them in Israel, and there are those who say this is the right color. It may or may not be. There's no way of knowing, obviously, but they come from Israel. So you get your strings, and one of them is blue. You can get them from Israel, and then you tie them. Yeah.
Well, my cantor, what he did is when I converted, and we found that they went and got the blue from Israel for me,
Right.
and they put it in, and then they buried the other that they took out.
The white, the regular
ones,
white.
they
So,
buried.
but we don't know that that's the right color blue.
No, but
So it's more of a symbolic gesture,
okay.
and so that's what it is. And it is, and the reason you bury it is because it's something holy. So when you and you actually shouldn't bury you need to, you could burn it, but burying is yes, okay. You wear a tallis, and when you die, may not be for many decades for all of us. You are wrapped in your tallis as well, but the tzitzit are cut and can be buried. You don't wear the tzitzit in the coffin because you can't do the commandments of this world anymore, can you? So you will never see, let me phrase that, you should never see a rabbi leading a funeral service wearing a tallis. If it is, it's someone who either doesn't know what they're doing or just became a rabbi, or both. Because it's insulting to the dead. It's like saying, see, I can wear this commandment, but you can't, nanner. So you don't actually see this, so you won't wear this. And as I say, the tzitzit are cut and they're not put in the coffin with you. Go on.
I was going to ask a question. Women are not allowed to wear
Tzitzit.
tallis.
Says who?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Because as far as I know, what we discussed before, there is no provision says a woman can't.
Okay, so and we're going to get a little into this a little bit later, more to fill in, but a woman is not obligated. There's 613 commandments. A woman is obligated to do 3 of them. It does not mean she's prohibited from the other 610. Okay? There's a difference. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The recognition that a woman is naturally holier in this physical world. So she doesn't need all of those commandments, but it doesn't prohibit her from it. The exception being when she's on her menstrual cycle. Because she's on her menstrual cycle, she's not supposed to handle Klei Kodesh. In the same way that if a man just came from handling the dead, he's not to handle Klei Kodesh, holy vessels, holy things. Okay? So, but they're not forbidden.
I didn't think so.
That's despite what, remember, a lot of what is put out as Jewish law is put out by groups that, like Chabad, that have been directly influenced by Eastern European Catholicism. And Eastern European Catholicism, which is where it came from, Chabad grew up in that region, has 2 archetypes of a woman: the Virgin Mary and the prostitute Mary.
Right.
That's it. A woman is either holy like your wife, or she's, a prostitute like Mary Magdalene.
Right.
Okay. So there's your wife and there's your mistress. Okay. But there's a lot of misogyny. In Catholicism, God is a man. Judaism, is God a man? No. The name of God is literally a simultaneous conjugation of a verb in both male and female. That's literally, did we go over this? I don't remember if we went over this.
No.
Okay, so God's name in Hebrew is Yud, He, Vav, He. Okay? And often translated or said as Yahweh, Jehovah, Yahweh, etc. Okay? Because all these are soft letters, the Y can be pronounced Yah or J. The He can be pronounced as an H or a silent. The Vav can be O, U, Wa, or Va. and the hey can be H or silent. We don't know how to pronounce it. It could be Yehuwah, right? Or it could be Jehovah, or it could be Yahweh. So we say instead Hashem, which means the name. We say Adonai, which means my master. But if we look at this word, so this root, these two middle letters, okay, and Vav, are the root of the letter to be, or of the word to be. The Hiyot means to be. Okay, you with me? In Hebrew, when you place a Yud in front of it, that makes it future tense masculine. When you place a hey behind it, it makes it past tense feminine. So our name of God is literally the simultaneous conjunction, or you know, to making it into the verb to be in past and future in masculine and feminine. So God's name in Hebrew, literally, just etymologically, just based on the letters, is past, present, future, masculine, feminine. In Catholicism,
It's all male.
Jesus is God. Period. Mary's not God. You know, the Virgin Mary, Mary Magdalene, these aren't God. Jesus is God. So
He created man. He created the man, and then he took the woman from.
right, which is not what the Hebrew says.
No, I'm just.
You missed that. We did that last. So just as a brief thing, in English translations, Adam is created first, right? In any English translation you read,
Yes.
Adam's created, okay, and then Eve was created, right? So actually, in Hebrew, the prefix ha means the. Okay, if I want to say table, the word is shulchan. If I want to say the table, I say ha shulchan. Okay, the word for cup is kos. If I want to say the cup, I say ha kos. With me? Okay. What it actually says in the Hebrew is that in the beginning, when God creates the human being, He creates ha Adam. Okay, He then causes ha Adam to go to sleep and separates out from ha Adam, Adam v'Chava, Adam and Eve. Let's look at the actual verse, because I never really care when I get scheduled anyhow. So I need two people to come up here, a man and a woman, please. I need a man and a woman.
You're a woman.
That was great. You pointed at her and said she's a woman. What does that make you?
Just since I'm
You voted for me.
Yeah.
All right, so you're going to be Adam. I got to find it.
I hope so.
Creatures.
I'm gonna be your best friend for about 14 seconds.
That's not the place I wanted. That's the first one. Hold on, I got to find the verse.
That's good.
If I can't find the verse, I'm just going to have to teach it to you. So, okay, you're going to have to take my verse, my from this,
You take
because
your word for it.
yeah, you're going to have to take my word for it because I can't find the exact phrase. So, right here. Hold on. This may be it. I gotta find the Hebrew. Okay, okay, so here's what happens. God creates Ha-Adam. In our image, He created them Male and female, he created them. Well, plural and single at the same time. Turn it back to back. And so what we're taught is this is Ha'adam. Feminine on this side, masculine on this side. Where are they connected? At the rib. Okay? God says this is Ha'adam, but Ha'adam is lonely because you can't talk to each other, can you?
Not like that, you can't.
So God puts them to sleep. God separates them where they're connected at the rib. Around. And now we have Chava and Adam.
Huh.
Which means both beings came out of Ha'adam. So should women, what did it end up being taught? Eve came from Adam's rib. Like they magically took a rib, pulled it out, and magically performed a miracle and became a woman. Therefore, women should be subservient to men.
Right.
Has nothing to do with what the text actually says. Thank you.
Well, did they come, they were at the same time like the twins, your twins, you tell them that they're,
No, I don't tell my. They're not like my twins, but they were.
They
The
came
idea
out
is
at the same time.
Ha'adam is one being. Oh, we forgot to give Sherry. Would you please pass us? So Ha'adam is two beings connected to the rib, and then it's one being, but then it becomes two. So Eve is not subservient to
You
Adam.
were saying this was in the early Catholicism,
God's a man.
on the same
but this
thing
is what they.
In the church.
Catholicism-
In the church, God is a man.
Yeah.
God's a man. I mean, God's in male form. Let's put it that way. He didn't come to earth in female form. He came in male form. Okay.
Any correlation as far as I have a lot of Middle Eastern friends, and they're a little different around women.
They're just jerks. That's more of a cultural
Some of them are
thing.
Muslim, and some of them are not. They're just
Muslim, there is a different. They're considered less than cattle.
Yeah.
In Islam,
They're
but
Jews.
yeah, it's a culture. So does that help answer that a little bit?
Thank you.
Okay. I think thank you means yes. Yeah. Kind of, sort of.
It means yes.
Okay.
It means
So
yes.
So with going back to the question, can a woman wear talis? The answer is absolutely. However,
There's exceptions.
in certain sects of Judaism, sects, not sects of Judaism, they're more influenced by Eastern European Catholicism, and so without even realizing it, and so they are very misogynistic.
It's the same in what I grew up in.
It's
as
well, remember, that all comes from Catholicism. That's why I use that as an example.
Exactly.
What kind of church did you grow up in?
My dad was a Church of God in Christ Pentecostal.
Pentecostal.
pastor.
Speaking in tongues?
They did. They spoke in something, and a lot of it was just. It came out of the African. A lot of
Right.
gibberish.
There was a certain level of candomblé and
Yeah, it was.
of Ifa and of different things that were blended into. Sure, no, I know. I know the African traditions as well, and although I will tell you, I was at a Pentecostal church service I was asked to come to not long ago, and they got down and they were speaking in tongues and they were falling on the floor, and it was kind of like an orgy without the sex. They were just having this, right? And they're, now I will tell you my personal belief on this. My experience is, I would say, from what my experience of that particular service, I would say a third to half of the people really were being touched by the Spirit of God, and the other ones were like, well, if they are, I'm going to.
And you probably picked up because, like I said, my dad pastored for 50 years, and then he had a lot of Ethiopian Jewish blood, which he didn't know until years later. But the point is, yeah, they're speaking in the tongues, and a lot of it, there is no real, the words meant nothing. And yes, I do believe that they did feel the presence of God in the best way they knew how to express it. But it never made sense to me.
No, it's a different theology.
Yeah.
It's different theology. But so we have this. Okay, let's see. So let's continue reading. Who wants to read on the third paragraph? Karen, I think it's your turn, right? Loudly, because Mike's way over here, though.
The Zohar explains that the Talit represents an Or Makib, surrounding light, which is the divine energy that envelops a person from the outside, serving as a shield against negative influences and enhancing their spiritual aura. The Talit is also connected to the idea of divine protection, embodying the verse from Psalms 104:2.
Chapter 104. Psalm
Chapter
104.
Psalm 104,
Psalm
chapter
104, second verse. Okay.
Thank you. He wraps himself in light as with a garment. When worn with proper kavanah or intention, the talit becomes a medium through which the soul aligns itself with higher spiritual frequencies.
Okay. It's really a very special tool. So why would that be forbidden from women? I mean, they don't need it,
No, I'm not
but we wouldn't
saying
forbid them, right?
It is. I just said,
A lot of people will say that it is, and it's not. Okay, please continue.
The eight strands symbolize transcendence above nature, which is often associated with the number 7, like the 7 notes of a musical scale, the 7 main colors, the 7 days of the week, and so on.
So 8 is outside the physical world. 8 is outside the physical cycle. What else is done with the number 8? Where 8 is very significant. I will give you a hint. Snip, snip.
Isn't it when
8
the
days
boys
The bris.
a bris?
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
How else was I going to? I wasn't going to stand up.
No, or pants yourself, like Joseph did.
Snip, snip.
Boy, this is a
So no, this is so because she started this. So when Joseph, his brothers come to see Joseph. You'll like this because I don't know if you started this ever. The brothers come to see Joseph, right? They don't know Joseph, the great king's number 2, is actually their brother, and they don't believe him. So he sends everyone away, and he drops his trousers, and he says, "See, I'm your brother."
That was the only way he could do it, huh?
That's the one way that's pretty definite.
Yeah. Oh, is it because the others did not have?
The other cultures, the Egyptians didn't circumcise.
Oh, okay.
This is also why most of the spies in World War II were women, because the Germans could catch a Jewish male spy.
Yeah.
To drop your pants. Okay, you're a Jew. I know you're a spy. So the women were the spies. They were the heroes.
British did the same thing.
Excuse me?
The British.
Yeah.
That's why women before Israel became a state, women were used as couriers and as spies.
They couldn't be caught.
They just couldn't be caught.
It's real simple. Someone sits there and they want to know if any of the 3 of us are Jewish. They can find out in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. How are they going to know if you 2 are? There's no mark. So the women were.
And it's interesting because all 4 of my sons I had circumcised.
It's the covenant with God.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Let us continue. So if you were going on and so on, go on, please.
The arrangement of the knots and windings reflects the balance between chesed, loving kindness, and gevurah, judgment, showing that divine law and compassion are intertwined. The Zohar, Volume 2, 176b, highlights that each knot signifies the level of divine unification, binding the physical realm with higher spiritual worlds.
Go on, last one.
The Arizal taught that while donning the talit, one should focus on drawing down divine light and enveloping oneself in the light of heaven. This meditation prepares the soul for prayer, fostering a space where physical distractions fade and spiritual focus.
So how do we put on a talit? Okay. First of all, we say the
As long as I've been coming to these classes, that Judaism is so different from Western religious practices.
Absolutely.
We're more spiritual. We're more.
It's just a different way of interacting.
Yeah.
So that is your talus. The traditional way, by the way, when you put away your talus, you can do it right. It depends on the size of the talus. Is I've never done it with one of these, but you end up folding it. So it's like this. So the tzitzit are protected. See how I did that? So the tzitzit are actually. So I folded it into a length like this, right, with the tzitzit on one end, right. So fold it even thinner so it's this thin. There you go. Now you take the tzitzit side and you throw it about a third of the way up. You tuck the tzitzits underneath, and you take the other side and you close it like that. And now my tzitzit are protected, aren't they? Ron Hyman, this is for you. I'm just showing this. See, and now they're protected, wrapped in. It goes right into the back. Okay. Tzitzit, talus. A lot there, isn't there?
Yeah.
A lot there. All right, let's pull out. Or then we kind of to bring some tefillin, please. Tefillin. Actually, I put these in the wrong order, Orlando. I'm sorry. So the page that says here, where is it? Wait, I'm actually looking for what it says. Did I not include this in here? I may not have included. Oh, I didn't include it. Okay, I didn't. My mistake. I did not. Either you didn't print it or I didn't include it. All right. So we are commanded.
On page 23.
25, what is it?
We're gonna look at this right now. So it says in Vehafta, you shall love Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. These words which command you this day should be upon your heart. You should teach them diligently to your children. You should speak them when you sit in your home, when you lie, when it walks by way, when it rises up, when it lies down, rises up. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates. That's the mezuzah.
Right.
That you shall bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be for frontlets between thine eyes. That is this. Okay, that's what these are. There are two tefillin. To bind upon your hand. Oh, wrong one. To bind upon your
Women
hand.
as well, Rabbi?
Excuse me?
Women as well.
Again, we're going to talk about that. Are women forbidden
No.
if they're on the menstrual cycle? Otherwise, no. So shall bind them upon your arm, upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. Okay? I forgot to bring the book. Do we have the book to fill in here? Orlando, I don't. I'll know in a moment. It's a light blue, very thin book by Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan, and here it is. Oh, if this one's in white. Okay. This is this is the definitive book on tefillin. Okay, it's by Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan. My cover is actually in blue, but this is the definitive book.
You have it?
I got it right here. Yeah.
Oh.
I got it. It is the definitive book about how to use, what to use, etc. And we have the Shema, right? It says, "Hear, O Israel, Lord our God, Lord is one. You shall love Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might. These words which I give you today shall be upon your heart. You shall teach them to your children and speak of them when you're on your way, when you're at home, when you lie down, when you wake up. You shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for tefillin, for frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and your gates." This is where it comes from. Okay? So first of all, what are we commanded to do? We're commanded to take the commandments and put them on our arm, our hand, and as a frontlet between our eyes. Okay? So there are a number of ways of wrapping. This has, let's bypass that one because those are actually, where's the first? Hold on. I didn't really look at this carefully, did we? Did I skip pages? Okay, go to the third page for a drawing where it says windings on the hand, Ashkenazi and Hasidic custom. Okay? Because those are really the simplest way of looking at it. The Chabad custom is just kind of weird and they're very demanding, even though they're not right. First of all, is there a right way or a wrong way to wrap tefillin? What's the commandment? Bind them on your arm and your hands. So does it matter how you wrap it on your hands? No. but these are the traditional ways that we do it. Now, if you look at these two, you will look that they look like a W.
Yeah.
See the W? Or in this case, an upside down W. That is actually the letter Shin, which stands for Shaddai, which is one of God's names. Avraham says, what is your name? It's El Shaddai. Okay. So let's start with that. If you look on your tefillin, you each have some tefillin in front of you. If you look on them, go and pull out your tefillin. You will see one is for hand, one is for the head. And the one that is for the head, it doesn't adjust at all. If you look on the box, it has a shin on one side that has 3. Take the yellow covering off. So you're actually looking at the box. That has a shin that looks like. So shin is written like this, right? But it also can be and used to be written like that with 4. And if you look on your box, you will see that one has a 3 and one has a 4. Okay, with me? Everyone see that? You'll look on the one that's your head. Do you see the head one? Do you guys all see the?
The fourth one has a little crown.
They both should have crowns. They both have crowns of sorts. Okay? It's all leather, by the way. If you look at this one, that again is for your head, you'll see that it has 4 compartments. Do you guys see how there's 4 compartments? Okay? In each one of those compartments is a scroll for each time tefillin are mentioned in the Torah. Okay? That has a little piece of scroll in it. Let's see if I can find the video. I actually helped Rabbi Kraft make my sons for their bar mitzvah, which was really cool. And he did like a 2-minute video for them about doing it. So you find that. So that has 4 compartments. This only has 1. It's also the 4-letter name of God. Okay? So each of these compartments. All right. So how do you wrap tefillin? First piece that you do is you're going to put on the arm. There are numerous ways depending on how you want to wrap it. So if I want to wrap it, watch this. If I want it, first of all, when you wrap, we're not going to do the whole blessing and everything. You wrap 7 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You say the blessings that we're going to go over in a little bit. You would put your head on like this. It does not go, and there it goes at the top of your hairline. You make sure it's on both sides. And then you continue to wrap the 3. And there's any number of ways that you can wrap these 3. Oops, wrong way. Okay, there's all sorts of ways you can wrap it. You can wrap, he's got the one custom that's going like this. It's too small for it. It's on my phone. 2, 3. And you can see right there. Do you see the W?
Mm-hmm.
The shin? Okay. You can. That's one way of wrapping. You can wrap. Just do it that way. Okay. You can wrap this way. 2. Straighten out. 3, 4. 5, 6, 7. And now this time I'm going to do this. Where did I go? This time I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to go this way. That way. See the shin?
Mm-hmm.
Opposite way this time, isn't it?
Yeah.
2 different ways of doing it, but they both got the shin for Shaddai. Yeah.
I remember once, Rabbi, you were discussing the wrapping of the felon, and you said, if I remember correctly, that these are also
The meridian lines.
yeah.
Yeah, because they hit the meridian lines in Chinese acupressure. It's also, when we look at 7 plus 3, do you remember we said that always is? The 7 in, the 10 sefirot, the 7 in the body and the 3 out of the body. Okay. Now, when we put this on, right, on our hands, the tradition is that we say, step backwards. How do I do that backwards? That's how. Okay. The tradition is that we say, as we wrap it around our fingers, Varastikli b'mana, I betroth you to me in loving kindness, I betroth you to me in law, I betroth you to me forever, and I shall know God. It's from the book of Hosea, and it's about betrothal. So what have I done when I wrap my fingers in my hand like this? This is my wedding ring with God.
Yeah.
So you're well, you're not, but you're getting married to.
This is my wedding ring. Why? We have a ketubah, that's the Torah. We have a dowry, that's the land of Israel.
Yeah.
We got a wedding ring. So it's the tefillin. Okay? So if you look at this, if you look at your handout, you can do this any number of different ways. You're going to walk into some temples, and they're going to say to you, no, you're doing it wrong. Are you?
No.
Just not doing their custom. But that's what you will be told.
As long as I'm going 7
And 3, and you're saying these prayers, you're not, and the Sephardic, maybe? Look. Yeah, the Sephardic, it's kind of weird. It doesn't really look like a shin or 3. And if you look at the Chabad, it doesn't look right. But, there's different ways of wrapping it. And there's always a piece of hair that is coming out of it. It is a piece of calf hair. It is that we know that the evil intention is there, and we recognize that it's there, and we choose not to embrace it. Okay. It's important that the corners are.
Where's that hair?
You'll find it on the bottom. I forget if it's on the very bottom or if it's on the top on the side. But it's needed to be there. I think it comes out the bottom. This is all leather, by the way. This is not wood. Okay. So you've got these. This is tefillin. So let's read about tefillin. How many of you have wrapped tefillin before? Okay. Let's talk about and read about what tefillin are. So let's go back to the page of writing that says, oh, no, it's after the diagrams. I'm sorry. And okay, who wants to read the next page after the page of diagrams? Who wants to read? Somebody read.
This is it is written.
It is written.
It is written, Genesis 1:27, and God created man in his image. In the image of God, he created him. Perceive this. When a man wears tefillin, a voice proclaims to all the angels of the chariot who watch over prayer, give honor to the image of the king, the man who is wearing tefillin. Torah says of this man, God created man in his image. For this man is wearing the same tefillin as the master of the world.
We're taught God wears tefillin. Oops. And how do we know this? Because when God passes in front of Moses, when God puts him in the cleft of the mountain, and he passes in front of Moses, which is when Moses calls out the 13 attributes, Adonai, Adonai, Rachum V'chan. At that time, then what happens is, what does Moses see? He sees the back of God's head, and he sees God's tefillin knot that's right there. Okay? We're taught that this makes the whole man. Please continue.
Every single Jew is surrounded by 7 mitzvos. He has tefillin on his arm and head, a mezuzah on his door, and 4 tzitzis on his garment. Thus King David said, Psalms 119:164, I will praise you each day with 7.
Okay? The idea being that every day you have those 7 pieces in it. Please continue. Let's read the next page. And this is about the hair that comes out. Let's read. Somebody.
God himself gave existence to the side of evil and allows it to exist. We must therefore not take it lightly, but safeguard ourselves so that it does not denounce us. We give the side of evil a small place in most holy realm, for its all power ultimately comes from the holy. This is the mystery of the hair of the calf inside the tefillin. This hair is allowed to show on the outside, but so short as to not cause defilement. We must bring this hair into our highest sanctuary and give it a place in order that it not denounce us.
Who knows what the Jungian shadow concept is? So Jung, the psychologist Jung, had this concept that we all have a shadow. It's the parts of ourselves that we're ashamed of, or that we act out on. The teenager loves his parents, but acts out like a brat anyhow. Not that I wasn't inferring anything. But right. So all these things, but if they're still good kids, etc. So Jung is this great psychologist, and created Jungian psychology. And Jung teaches that what do you do with the shadow? Most people, they try and hide it. Right? That's what they do. They'll hide it and pretend it doesn't exist, as opposed to what you should do. Instead of trying to lock it in a closet and then it controls you as it's trying to break out, what you should do is invite it into the room and say, okay, let's have some coffee. Why are you acting out like this? Well, that's why and how Judaism works. We don't deny those things that are wrong. We accept that that's part of the human condition. And we choose not to act on it. Big difference between that and different Christian traditions, isn't there?
It's automatically a sin.
Yeah, and the priest has got to forgive you.
Even if you look upon a woman and said you committed adultery already,
Right.
and someone said that they knew how something was a sin growing up, he said as if it was fun, he knew it was a sin.
Yeah,
What I find interesting.
That's not our tradition.
No,
That's just not our tradition.
But can you imagine how psychologically harmful it is to have that suppression?
Of course.
And it leads to people really being terribly insecure and feeling guilt all the time.
I'm feeling good. Look, if you go to a Persian wedding and you don't notice, and you're a healthy man, a healthy heterosexual man, and you don't notice that there are beautiful women, you're either blind or denying who you are.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. It's a beautiful woman. So what? I'm not interested in them. I got my beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Right. It's like whatever. But it's the point of recognizing that, if a woman walks in here and she's a Victoria's Secret model, and she just needs to say, she comes up and says, "Excuse me, Orlando, may I use the restroom?" Oh, let me look at your library for a minute. She's wearing a thong bikini and topless. And any of the men in this room said they weren't noticing.
Liars.
They're liars.
Even the women.
Right?
Even the women.
There's a great Hasidic story that I love about this, which is a Rebbe's trying to see who he should entrust. Who should he entrust with the community? So he calls in his disciples. Calls in the first disciple. He says, "If you find $1,000 in a wallet, what would you do?" He goes, "I'd give it back." And the rabbi says, "Liar! You answer too fast." The next disciple comes, asks the same question. He goes, "I keep it. You're honest, but you're a thief." Third one comes in. So what'd you do? He goes, "Well, I hope I would have the courage to find the owner and give it back." He goes, "You I can trust." Judaism is that third place. We don't say the liar, the thief. We're honest about it. So the idea of having a piece of the hair of a calf. Okay, let's continue. Who wants to read the next page? Someone else. Happy is the man. Was that coughing because you wanted to read? Is that what that was? That was clearing your throat?
So,
Loudly, loudly, loudly.
happy is the man who wears tefillin and fathoms their mystery. When a man wears tefillin and sees he enters a realm where the Holy One himself surrounds him with the mystery of the highest faith. When a man places tefillin on his arm, he should stretch out his hand as if to draw in the community of Israel and embrace it with his right arm. Thus it is written, let his left hand be under my head and his right arm embrace me. Tefillin are Israel's strength. It is written, and the peoples of the earth shall see that God's name is called upon you, and they shall be awed by you. A man who washes his hands, put on tefillin, says the Shema, and prays is considered to have built an altar and offered sacrifice. He is also said to have truly accepted upon himself the yoke of heaven.
Okay, so it is our wedding ring. Do you go flipping off your wedding ring all the time?
Sure.
Right? You can tell I got a big tan line, right? It usually doesn't come off. Right? This is it. It's a symbol. Well, tefillin's the wedding ring too. The tallis is our prayer shawl, and it's our chuppah. Remember that we get married under the groom's tallis.
Yeah.
Literally, that's what the chuppah is.
What is when you walk around 7 times at the
So
wedding,
traditionally,
what
the
does
bride
that
walks
mean?
around the groom 7 times.
Yes.
Sometimes in more egalitarian, the bride will walk 3 times around the groom will walk 3 times around the bride. They'll walk around each other once together. 7 is the number of wholeness. It is the number that we find throughout the wedding ceremony. There are 7 blessings. There are 7 circuits. Again, 7 is the completion of the physical world. So you're intertwining their souls. That's really what it is. Also, quite honestly, it's a woman marking our territory.
Yeah.
Okay.
And men standing there appreciating it, right?
That's right. Because let's be honest. Let's be honest. The woman holds the man's soul in her arms, in her hands. The bride the wife holds the man's soul. Yes, sir.
I saw a picture of an Israeli soldier with his tallis on and also this tefillin, saying prayers. He's got a Uzi over his shoulder, and it's so symbolic.
There is nothing. I really want to encourage everyone to because we'll be moving the trip to this summer, God willing, for Israel. We show the brochures in the next week or two. There is nothing like going to the wall on Shabbat and dancing Shabbat songs like Chaludi and Shabbat prayers with IDF soldiers who have machine guns on their backs and guns at their side. It's spectacular. And the part that Allison noticed, and when she pointed out to me, I kept looking the entire trip. She was 100% accurate. All these women with their machine guns and perfectly manicured fingernails. They've all had their mani-pedi, obviously. They have these perfectly manicured fingernails with different acrylics that are holding their Uzis. It's like only in Israel. But there is something. It is our shield and our protection is God. And it is not the Iron Dome. It is not now the Iron Beam. Those are just tools that God has helped us to create.
God provided.
That God provided, exactly. But it's God that's doing it. So these are three symbols, garments, whatever you want to call them, that we wear in Jewish. You've all known about them your whole lives, right? You always know what these are, right? You've always known that's a yarmulke, that's tallis, that's tefillin. Is it deeper now for you?
Yeah, sure.
That's really the question. What I always find interesting, and I'm not Mormon, so I can't comment it, but I believe the Mormons wear a cloth like a tzitzit as well. Their magic underwear or whatever it is. It's like an underwear thing, but they do as well. So when you put on a tallis next time, think about it. When you put on tefillin, think about it. I tried having, once or twice a month. We tried it. Was it twice a month, Orlando, or once a month? We had tefillin Thursday, but we couldn't get more than 4 or 5 people each morning to do it. Even trying to do it once, I would love to have a group that got together every once a week, every other week. So, we're just going to spend 45 minutes studying the Torah portion, wrap our tefillin, study the Torah portion. There's something very powerful about sitting in a community with your tallis on and your tefillin wrapped. and you're just functioning the way you function. It's just you've got this box here and this box here, and your fingers like this. It's very cool. So hopefully this added a little bit more, another dimension to this, and that's what we're trying to do in each of these classes. Any other questions? Any questions online? Yes.
Anecdotal story. These two young guys come by my office, and they're rapping once a week. Very young.
They asking you for money?
Not yet.
Oh, they
I
will.
mean, I give a little.
They will. Yeah. So part of the reason.
Very young.
Let me. How young?
20.
Okay, they're not very young. Would be under 13. So there is a root, a beautiful spiritual root to wanting to get everyone to wrap tefillin, which is the belief is that the Messiah will come when every Jewish male has wrapped tefillin, or when every Jewish female has lit the Shabbat candles twice. Okay, so the idea of come by and wrap. Have you wrapped tefillin yet? Is beautiful. Unfortunately, it has also basically become a money-making scam. I have tefillin with you now. Give me some guilt.
And I know,
I make them
remember,
teach me something besides the tefillin.
Yeah, it's
I ask for a little.
yeah, and they don't know. 20-year-old, they don't know. So and the Chabad guys, they don't know.
I know when I were at Brent's, and some guy came up, remember? We were getting out of the car, and he asked if we wanted to,
Yes, they want to do billing, and they want to.
guilt. So it's exactly what you're saying.
I did throw in some of your stories with it, and they were not familiar.
They're not familiar. They're not. You can become a Chabad rabbi in a year now. Apparently, you don't have to have any knowledge. It's very sad. It's not like Schwartzy, who was my teacher and friend and signed my Orthodox ordination and founded the first Chabad house in the country. They're not like Schwartzy anymore. I mean, the older guys are. Danny Yiftach is, and Brisky is to an extent, and Sapo is. But you can be young guys. It's just my father-in-law is a rabbi, so I'll be a rabbi and I'll know how to make money. And it's not making money. But this is the great book on tefillin, and you can tell it's not exactly hard reading, and it's got all sorts of stories and teachings, and I'll pretty much everything on tefillin was actually copied from this book, and it tells you exactly how to do it. It shows you the different ways of doing it. Here you can see the different diagrams, right? Different ways.
Are there videos?
In the book? They
No,
haven't figured out that. That would be a good trick, though.
No, but I mean,
There are plenty of videos. This book really.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
But this book really has it because it's got the arrows. If you look, it shows the arrows of how you're wrapping it.
Oh, okay.
So it becomes very easy, and it's that these are all different ways of doing it. When someone sits there and says you're wrapping it wrong, just tell them I'm wrapping it my way. Okay.
7 and 3.
7 and 3, but some of the 3 or 3 isn't right. It needs to be this way.
The only time I wrapped tefillin was when I was doing shiva for my dad.
It's a great practice.
Is it also considered a mitzvah?
Yes, it's a mitzvah because it's a commandment. I'm commanded to do it.
That's okay.
You're not, but we are. But you're not forbidden from doing it. Okay. So hopefully that was helpful. And next week we will do something else that will be hidden in plain sight. Talmud and Tobacco tomorrow on the hidden secrets of Hanukkah. Please buy many, many tickets to the Laka launch, or just decide to make donations because we need that to get through 1 month at a time.
Yeah, I
And
saw
it's-
that.
Yeah.
So we'll go over that, and thank you guys for doing this.
It's like bingo, but it's on a great big field.
No, but what date is it?
14.
14.